Hi guys, welcome to the Fight Edge channel. British heavyweight prospect Chamberlain believes that IBF, WBA, WBO heavyweight champion Alexander Usyk instills doubts in the minds of opponents due to his technique. I used to ask Usyk for advice all the time after sparring, but obviously, when I started sparring a little better, he stopped giving me advice. The boxer recalled the time in the general camps. I wasn't really surprised when he beat Joshua. I know how good he is, Chamberlain told Sky Sports. He is an amazing boxer. I was with him in 2 camps. He does skillful things, build attacks, cheats all the time, works with his front hand all the time. He uses the boxing brain a lot. He is very good at what he does, Chamberlain said. If you are constantly being countered, then of course you will begin to doubt. They say, if I throw something out again and it will fly to me again, what will I say? Joshua's boxing didn't work last time, now he just needs to try to break in, Chamberlain believes. Former world heavyweight and heavyweight champion Britain David Haye gave an interview to local media. David shared his opinion about the possible decision of his compatriot, former United champion Anthony Joshua, to take compensation in order to allow the fight for the title of absolute world champion to take place between the holder of 3 belts, Ukrainian Alexander Usyk, and the WBC champion from Britain Tyson Fury. I want to hear your opinion that according to rumors, Anthony Joshua can take 40 million in compensation to allow Tyson Fury to fight with Alexander Usyk. It comes to the point when you don't need money anymore, when you can't do even better tuning of your car, improving your home. You are provided for 10 lives. It's about what you want to do. I've heard he wants a rematch, and I don't think there is that much money that can stop him. Maybe he's already had enough? I don't know, it all depends on his mood, I don't think. Do you think that he will do it? I hope not. If he does, I may have overestimated him. I think he had the wrong fight. I hope that deep down in his soul and in his head, he understands that the performance he showed last time could be much better. Much better. He boxed incorrectly. If he boxed correctly, he would knock him out, take the belts and then be able to fight for the absolute champion. But if he doesn't do it, I'll be shocked. I think he's just screwing everyone up. How much money does he need? What does he want to buy? My opinion, if you can't beat Alexander Usyk, then you can't beat Tyson Fury. You have a heavyweight fighter who defeated Derek Chisora in a close fight. Although I personally think that Derek won. In my opinion, we need to correct the mistakes right away. To have a rematch, take the belts, show the same performance as he showed against Andy Ruiz. This is the same as saying that he needed an interim fight before the rematch with Andy Ruiz, and he went straight to the rematch and found technique to beat him, and beat him easily. Do it again. That's how I think, David Haye said. Friends, before starting to watch this video, I would like to ask you to subscribe to my channel. If you really enjoy the content, then please subscribe to my channel and keep watching the videos. If you are subscribed, then you receive notifications about the release of new videos. You do not even have to look for anything personally. I really want to get 10,000 subscribers on my channel. I'm trying very hard, absolutely every day, and I need your support. Your likes, comments, reposts to social networks. Thanks to everyone who subscribes to my channel. You are my support. Thank you so much. The holder of the WBC heavyweight title, British champion Tyson Fury, gave an interview for the British media, where he commented on the information about the 40 million compensation of the former United champion from Britain Anthony Joshua for the possibility of organizing a fight for the title of absolute world champion against the holder of 3 titles of Ukrainian, Alexander Usyk. Recall that recently Joshua's promoter Hearn announced the approximate amount of possible compensation for his boss. According to rumors, Joshua wants 40 million in compensation to allow you to fight with Usyk Only I don't know if this is true or not, but such messages, such figures were voiced. I will say, ask my advisor about what is happening now with other people's compensation and businesses, because I'm not involved in this at all. I'm having a nice time here in Cardiff right now, on a United Kingdom tour, meeting fans, meeting people. I'm not a businessman, I'm fucking Spartan. I'm only interested in knocking out the bastards. That's why I'm not involved in money, girls, cash. I'm only involved in meetings with fans, enjoying what I've done and who I am. I'm a warrior, not a businessman. I don't care about money, I don't care about fame, fortune. I'm only worried about the fights. I heard a famous little man called AJ say recently that I am a businessman and all that. Let's be blunt, I'm not a businessman, I'm a warrior. I fight to the end, I don't give a back and I don't give up, that's what the Spartans say. There is no business where I fight with someone, it's not about business. You can't pay me 2 billion to lose a fight because I won that bastard's heart, no matter who I fight. I want to eat it for breakfast and spit it back out. I don't lose for money and I don't do anything for money, because they do mean much to me. Whether I live in a castle or in a rented apartment, I am still Tyson Fury, the Gypsy King. What do you say about his attitude? He may be willing to take compensation, if it makes sense to him. Listen, I will not express my opinion about this, because he will eventually see this interview and will not take compensation. Therefore, I want him to take compensation so that I can completely beat Alexander Usyk. If he does, so be it, if not, the something. But one thing I will say, do this shit, either take the money and fuck you or fight with a man, Gypsy King said. Former world heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua warned his promoter Eddie Hearn not to even talk to him about going aside, for the sake of the fight of Tyson Fury with Alexander Usyk, unless the offer for such a maneuver would not be too steep to refuse it. The head of the Matchroom Boxing himself told DAZN about this. We've had conversation about it. Nothing serious, thought. Just a concept in the spirit of you let Fury and Usyk fight for the status of the absolute, and then you fight with the winner. Anthony said to me yesterday, I just want to warn you, stepping aside is contrary to everything I believe in, and you will be in trouble if something goes wrong. Promoter added. Recall that, having defeated Usyk in September, Joshua almost immediately activated the rematch clause and drove off to the States to pick up a new coach. All he wants is another fight with Usyk and he trusts me, Hearn said. But if there is some plan that will be with a great financial package and, more importantly, will give him more time to work with a new coach and then participate in the mega fight for a lot of money later this year, I think it will be right for his career. But he said he really did not want to do that. He wants a fight with Usyk, said Hearn. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel.